And for your top story this hour, the brother of Renee Good, a US woman shot dead by a federal agent in Minneapolis, has expressed disappointment over the lack of change since her death, which sparked outrage during President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Good was killed in early January while protesting immigration and customs enforcement ICE operations. The Trump administration claimed the officer who shot her acted in self-defense, despite conflicting video evidence. Good's family hoped her death would lead to change, but they say no progress has been made. Let's listen in to what Renee Good's brother, Luke Ganger, had to say.
Last few weeks, our family took some consolation, thinking that perhaps Nay's death would bring about change in our country, and it has not. The completely surreal scenes taking place on the streets of Minneapolis are beyond explanation. This is not just a bad day or a rough week or isolated incidents. These encounters with federal agents are changing the community and changing many lives, including ours, forever.
We are now being joined by guest Madhav Nalapat, who's joining us from New Delhi, who's an editorial director for TSG. Thank you so much for joining us here today on NewsX World. What does the family's criticism of the lack of reform since Renee Good's death reveal about public expectations for accountability and change in federal immigration enforcement?
Look, turning to Minneapolis and the situation in Minneapolis, I'd like to point out that not only is there any drawdown in the actions committed by ICE, but in fact there's been absolutely no intention on the part of the White House or the Department of Homeland Security to have any drawdown. They are perfectly happy with the way ICE is functioning, although the opinion of many scholars is that it's completely unconstitutional, and not only illegal immigrants, but even there you cannot understand inhumane treatment. But the fact is, bona fide US citizens are being gunned down in broad daylight by anonymous ICE officials who are in face masks and all that. So we don't know what their names are. So the fact of the matter is, Chuck Schumer, the head of the Senate Democrats, has demanded that the ICE agents reveal their identities and not function as a kind of a secret force hiding their identity from the broader public. The sad truth is that ICE has gone completely out of control because there is no effort to control it on the part of the Trump administration, and as a consequence, innocent US citizens are being gunned down, including so many cases that have been mentioned by NewsX World in the past. And I'm afraid that the situation will not improve, it will continue, although the reality is that this kind of reckless behavior on the part of ICE is proving to be extremely unpopular with even with the MAGA crowd. Forget about the overall US population. With the result, the Democrats have been winning seats that Trump won by margins of 15, 16, 17%. So I think Trump had better do something to stop this kind of reckless behavior on the part of ICE, because unless he does so, he is going to be a very unpopular president right in the beginning of his first term, and that's going to cost the party a huge amount in any by-election as well as in the midterms. Thank you.
And how do these conflicting narratives between federal officials and local authorities over the use of force in this case affect public trust in law enforcement and investigations?
Look, the fact of the matter is the public have no trust in ICE. They can see an organization that recklessly gone out of control and that is shooting down innocent American citizens, including women. And may I point out, recently ICE kidnapped a 5-year-old boy. Now, this is absolutely absurd. How can you kidnap a 5-year-old boy? So that's what ICE has done, and that boy has been taken into custody. Basically, the effort was to lure his father, his mother, from where she was hiding, so that she would be picked up by ICE and join her 5-year-old and a husband. But she wisely decided to stay put where she is. But the consequences, the little toddler has been taken into custody. A 5-year-old being taken into custody. It's utterly unbelievable in a democratic country. But this is what is, and this can be reason why ICE has become so deeply unpopular across so much of the United States and is costing Donald Trump, frankly, his Republican majority in the House and Senate come the next US midterms by November of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhav. Don't go too far, as we will come back to you in just a moment.